We have tone matched presets and captures based on this amplifier. This is a Tone King Royalist Mark III, quickly becoming one of my all-time favorite amplifiers, certainly one of my favorite Marshall type voiced amplifiers. So first I want to tell you a little bit about this amplifier, and then I want to tell you about what you're getting with these downloads, which are linked below. Presets for the Line 6 units, that's Line 6 Helix, HX Stomp, Pod Go. For Fractal units, AXFX3, FM3, FM9. Presets for Quad Cortex as well, and then you get captures for Quad Cortex, captures for TONEX, and captures or profiles for Kemper. So this is the third iteration of the Royalist from Tone King, and it's really 3 amplifiers in one. Like I said, it is a Marshall voiced amplifier, and the reason why I said it's one of my all-time favorite Marshall type amplifiers, it's because it has like more headroom. So a lot of times with a Marshall type amplifier, especially if it's like a Plexi, like this one behind me, the Super 100, or something like the Friedman BE 100, or the Bogner Goldfinger, which is, but all those amps are just amazing. But they really, like, they go for like a cranked Plexi type of a sound. I really like more of a cleaner edge of breakup thing, and certainly those types of amps will do it, but this amp seems to be really voiced to give you like really beautiful edge of breakup and clean tone. The amp has this toggle switch right here. It's a 3-way toggle, and it has 3 years written on here. So the first voice that you get is the 1964 voice. The 64 voice is their take on a classic vintage JTM 45 type circuit. Then in the middle position, you've got the 1967 voice. Now the 67 voice adds a little bit more aggression, especially to the top end, and it's going more for like a 50-watt JMP type of a sound. And then finally, you've got the 1970 voice, and the 70 channel or voice, if you want to think of it that way, is like your 100-watt Plexi. Now, this amplifier is not a 100-watt amplifier, but it goes for that type of a sound, and the whole amp becomes much more aggressive, and it really likes to be turned up for like sort of, you know, the kind of stuff that you would play through a classic 100-watt super lead or something like that. Led Zeppelin, if you will. You can get all 3 of the voices on this amp with really beautiful, lush edge of breakup and clean tones. I think that's where it excels. Now, we mic'd this amp through a Mojotone Bluesbreaker cab that has a pair of warehouse guitar speakers, WGS speakers in it, a Veteran 30, which is like their V30, and then an ET65. It's a really nice combo of speakers that pairs well with a lot of different amplifiers, but we felt like, you know, it's the Bluesbreaker cab. We're gonna run like the vintage Marshall-y thing through it, and it was a really, really great match. So for the capture devices, you're gonna get captures all through the gain range of this amplifier for all 3 channels. The 64 channel, like I said, it's the softer, warmer, you can think of it more lush voiced channel. It doesn't get as gainy. The 67 and the 70 are gonna, you get nice, really nice clean tones with those as well, but you're gonna get more aggressive gain tones with those captures. So that's for Quad Cortex, TONEX, and Kemper. And of course, they're compatible with the newer Kemper Player and the Quad Cortex Nano as well. Now, for Quad Cortex, you're also going to get a set of presets, which brings me to the devices that do presets. So the Line 6 HX devices, Fractal, and Quad Cortex. We actually made 2 sets of presets. Bradford and I talked about this for a while, and we've decided we want to start doing, for particular amps that really feel like it would, you know, benefit them, we're gonna do 2 sets of presets. So I built a set of presets and Bradford built a set of presets. So you kind of get Bradford's take on it and my take on it. But really, you know, we kind of have, our ears have gotten similar over the years. So the amps are sort of voiced to sound the same in the 2 sets of presets. But one of them, the one that Bradford set up, is labeled A, and it is 2 instances of the 64 voice. So 2 instances of like a clean JTM 45 with all your pedals and all your wet effects running into the 2 amps. in stereo. So if you are familiar with like our stereo amps pack, it would be like the template A that you get in the stereo amps pack as far as the way that the signal flow is set up. So if you like to think of your rig as like your pedal board into stereo amps, the A presets are for you, and each set of presets has one voice for single coils, one for humbuckers. Now, because this amp sort of acts like a channel switching amp, and you can set the amp up so that, you know, you have a clean sound, you can hit a button and switch to your gained up Plexi sound. We wanted to offer a preset that did that as well. So preset B is the one that I came up with, where you've got 2 amp blocks. And this is true for all the presets except for Pod Go. You can't do this on Pod Go because it only has 1 amp block available. For FM3 and for all the Fractal units, we're using channel switching to do this. So you get this functionality. So there's a button on all the presets that's gonna switch the amp from the JTM, the 64 voice, to the 70 voice, to the Plexi voice. And so it'll say like JTM Plexi or something like that. And what it does is it takes your amp to go from clean to like a driven amp tone. And then you'll also get overdrives that you can pair with that as well. And then all of the stereo effects are after the amp blocks. So it's more of like a studio type rig, or if you think of your rig like you're running your dry effects into an amp block and then your wet effects either coming after it or in an effects loop, it's set up that way. But the 2 presets actually really complement each other well, and you've been hearing them in this demo. It's a lot of fun to do both of them because, you know, all these wet effects that we, you know, the bigger wet effects, especially, you know, you might use in church for praise and worship stuff, those going into an amplifier with overdrive, it's a sound and it's cool. But I know a lot of you, myself included, I like both sort of setups where your wet effects come after the amps, which allows you to take the amp and gain the amp up, which is a different type of drive than hitting it with pedals. And this amp is really cool because it excels in all 3 of these sounds, and we really tried to capture the essence of it in the presets that we're delivering for you. Links are below where you can download all of these presets and captures. Thanks for checking this one out, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so, and we'll see you in the next one.